Arlen here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about why it's a good idea to think about your goals in your life in terms of helping other people, and why, if you actually do that, your goals are going to manifest a lot easier. Welcome to the video. My name's Arlen. I help people design their reality, and before I go into this video, I do want to announce that the free trial for Maxi has closed. If you're in the free trial and you're watching this, I highly recommend you get the most out of it that you can. Watch every video, create your master vision, and create a dream for yourself that you can hold on to and picture even if you decide not to pay for Maxi in the long run. And while you're creating your master vision, this video is going to help you a lot, because the truth is that if you set an intention, if you set a goal that on the other side of it, the end result is going to affect more than just yourself, it's more than just a needy goal, then your goal is going to manifest so much more easier. And the funny thing is, the more people you help, the more you actually end up helping yourself. So to give you an example, I guess it's more of an analogy, but it's a direct correlation to why this is actually a truth. And the example is where I am right now. I'm in nature. I'm in the cranberry bogs, which are pretty much basically in my backyard, and it's beautiful out here. You'll probably hear some birds chirping, some frogs croaking, which are slightly annoying as I'm filming this video, but also, adding to the environment nonetheless. And, you're seeing flies. You might even hear a little bit of the stream. You're seeing nature, okay? And what does nature like to do more than anything? Well, likes to make shit. Bluntly. I mean, look around you. Even where you are right now, you might even be in a city, but just look up at the sky. The world and the universe is stunning, and it is full of just all these incredible creations. So what you can take away from that is that the universe, however it works, whatever you think is behind it, whether you're religious, whether you think it's God, whether you think it's just the Big Bang and science coming together and making this thing that is whatever we're in, what is this even? You have to admit that there is so much variety that whatever is behind creating all of this just simply loves to create. And it loves to build things that are just stunning for people, you watching this, me standing here filming this, to just enjoy. Even for the other life around me, the frogs, the birds, the grass all around. It's all taking in all of this life, this beauty, this nature. And so when you think about your goals, you kind of want to think of yourself almost like a tree, okay? Where a tree sets its seeds in the ground, right? And grows over time very slowly to the point where it just starts to branch out and leave nutrients, sometimes flowers, leaves, for other forms of life to benefit from. You and me are benefiting from trees. We breathe in the oxygen that they emit. We breathe out CO2. The leaves take in the CO2 and then produce oxygen. And the birds and all the animals that live inside the entire ecosystem of the tree. And so there's this big dynamic of exchange going on that is just very apparent in nature. So if you can kind of learn from this, you think, all right, how can I be like a tree? All right, well, I can plant a seed. So for us, it's not a literal seed that you put in the ground, but the seed of human manifestation is thought. So if you start thinking about something more consistently, if you start thinking about a goal, an end result that you are visualizing, if you start thinking about an end result that you're visualizing, well, that seed is going to manifest through you in some sort of creation. Okay, now it's very important to understand that you have to have a clear end result of what you actually want. In Maxi, we call this a North Star goal, in which you set a goal that is very clear, defined, and specific, okay? So the tree, you know, when you go to plant a seed for a tree, you know what kind of tree it's going to be, right? You don't just plant some random seed and be like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be an oak tree or an apple tree. It's like, you know, you can look at the seed and you know what kind of tree it's going to be. It's the same thing with you choosing a thought to plant in your brain and grow into physical reality. You have to have a very clear and specific idea of what it is you're actually going to be manifesting. So just to give you an example, even with these videos that I'm filming, so I have a very clear end result. By the end of this year, I want to have 10,000 people within Maxi. And as I meditate and as I even work out or spend time on a walk in nature or just go about my day, I will get ideas sent to me that sounds weird. Sorry, I'll get there. I will have ideas come to me from, you know, wherever ideas come from. Who even knows where thoughts come from? They kind of just pop up. But the funny thing is, you can observe when you set an end result. So for example, me, it's 10,000 users in Maxi by December 31st, 2020. I just start getting ideas about what I should do. And so for me right now, filming this video is one of those ideas. So I'm delivering value through myself into you. And as you can see, it's kind of like the tree, right? So I have this end result. I have the initial thought, the 10,000, I have the seed, 10,000 users in Maxi by December 31st, 2020. And then the growth of that, how that's going to happen, how that tree comes out of the ground, how long it takes is determined by what I actually create, okay? And what is actually created from the seeds of the earth. So why is it that if you plant a seed that is going to benefit more people, that it's actually going to be easier for you to build? Well, everything is connected, okay? So we have to understand that the more that you can connect to others and actually inspire other people to grow, the easier that growth is going to occur. It's just a law of the universe. I mean, for example, Maxi is something that I created that very evidently is helping other people have an impact. So it's almost like it's a tree that Maxi is like a tree that spurts up out of the ground and then has all of these branches coming out that have little other seeds on them, and then they drop to the ground and they grow. Okay, and so it's almost like it's creating this forest effect. Okay, let's call it the forest effect. So when you're thinking about your goals, and you want to think about this across all parts of your everything that you are creating in your life, whether it's your business or a YouTube channel or even a TikTok account, or even you can relate this to your social life, your fitness. Everything should be, you want to be able to at least reason within yourself that I'm doing this not just for me. I'm doing this for the expansion and the overall benefit of mankind, of society, for my friends, for my family. And if you can kind of twist whatever goal that you have to think about how it's going to be impacting and affecting more people, you're going to have ideas come to you. Okay, you're literally going to be walking through the grocery store, and then all of a sudden, because you set this goal that's going to be helping all these people, you'll just be hit with the idea and be like, oh, I know what I need to do. So the difference is when you set a goal that is, I guess, selfish, maybe you just set some sort of random monetary goal and you want to make a bunch of money for, just selfish reasons because you want to ball out at Balenciaga or something. You can do that, sure, and it will happen. It's just, here's the thing. It'll happen, but you're not going to be internally fulfilled. Fulfillment can come in many different forms, but the deepest amount of fulfillment, I can tell you from experience, is when you see that what you've built has actually deeply affected someone else. The video testimonials that I get from, and I keep referencing Maxi over and over, I apologize, but the video testimonials I get where people are literally saying it's helped them with anxiety, which is something that I very deeply struggled with for quite a long time. It really makes an impact on me more than any amount of money I've made from like a brand deal or a drop for 8 a.m. It's just like, it means so much more to see and actually know the impact that you are having on others.
Hey, I'm Tyler. I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, and I've been using Maxi for about a month and a half now, and it has changed my life. So I just wanted to share a quick summary about it. Before Maxi, I was at the lowest point in my life. I was like super overwhelmed by school and work, and I was going through like periods of depression. But after Maxi, I feel like I've matured like at least 2 years. Like, I'm 20 now, I feel like I'm 22. I've started a business, I know exactly what I want in life, and I wake up every morning and I'm just happy. So
in this next part of the video, I want to give you a little bit more of a concrete example about exactly what it looks like when you create a goal or some type of thing that helps more people than just you. Now, the Xerox machine is a perfect example of this. The Xerox machine was invented in I think the 1990s, and it was obviously aimed at businesses, people who are trying to send papers from place to place. And the thing about the Xerox machine is it created what's called a network effect. And what a network effect does is when one company has it and another company has it, it helps both companies. Okay, so if you want to fax something from one company to another, or for example, from your house to your university, it helps both you and the university to both have a Xerox machine. And this kind of brings this almost like an awkward vibe if someone doesn't have a Xerox machine or a fax machine. And so that's like a perfect business-wise example. Another example I might relate to you, the automobile. So the car was invented very early on in, I believe, the 1900s, could have been late 1800s. Yeah, probably late 1800s. I could be totally botching that fact. But anyway, Henry Ford came along and he was like, you know what? Cars should not be for just rich people. Cars should also be for the everyday person. And he basically decided that he was going to democratize the automobile. Now, what happened when he did that was that it became affordable for the average income family to have a car. And so what that did is it obviously helped more than just one person, right? So if you have a car, great. You can bring your friends places, you can bring your family places. Transportation is made so much easier, especially in cases of emergencies. And so despite taking this thing that back in the early 1900s seemed to be this luxurious thing, the automobile, at the time, obviously this really crazy new invention, and to have this idea of like, oh, we're gonna make it for everyone and we're gonna make it cheaper and not only cheaper, but probably even better than some of the cars that were out there. Well, that just sounded like crazy to so many people. But Henry Ford was like, nah, this is gonna help people. This is gonna be for the benefit of humanity and mankind. So that's my goal. And what happened? Well, he pretty much completely overtook the entire industry. Why? Because it helps more people. Having a car advances society and is better for the whole. So when you can create a business that is better for the whole, it's just going to expand so much more. It's going to, people are going to tell their friends about it. That's like a very concrete example, but just by the nature of it, again, bringing it back to trees, the more a tree can provide for the other inhabitants in the ecosystem, the more it becomes a necessary part of the food chain, and it just survives evolution and time. So those are two very concrete business examples. I gave you the more esoteric example. Now what I want to do is kind of break down for you how you can sort of start to get more clear about what it is that you are actually meant to do, and also off that, who you actually are. So in previous videos and on this channel, and I guess on this side of YouTube in general, you've probably been watching videos where people are saying, you need to, or there's this great awakening happening in the world, and people are really waking up to who they actually are. And to give you a refresher on that, who you actually are is not your name, where you're from, and your life history, but who you actually are is a limitless spiritual being living in this temporary human experience. And it's just a truth. I mean, you can say that you are your name and you can say all these things, but that's just a story you're telling yourself. The truth is that you are the one observing and aware of that ego, of that identity. Now, what happens with many people is we're pretty much all born into this world forgetting who we are, and the purpose is to remember who we actually are. And so what happens is people will have an identity, right? But it's not a chosen identity. It's kind of the one they were born with. Now what happens when people wake up is they have the opportunity to choose their identity, okay? So now the question is, all right, well, I've woken up. I realize I can pretty much be whoever I choose. Who do I choose? Right? It's kind of it's a daunting question. Like I've woken up to the fact that I'm this limitless spiritual being. What do I do with that? I mean, I obviously want to help as many people as possible. So where do I start? Well, there's two sides of this answer. Now, one, you can just do some very basic stream of consciousness journaling on your existing skills and interests, because usually your life experiences up until now will be a good indicator of where you might be best suited to help the most people. Me personally, I looked at what I went through on a personal level. Sometimes our biggest struggles can end up being what we actually end up helping the world most with, because we've struggled so much internally with a specific issue that we have a very deep understanding of how to help other people with that specific issue. For example, if you or a friend or someone you may know has struggled with bulimia, the eating disorder, if you have struggled with it and then you overcame it and you did it through, homeopathic remedies or some sort of, mindset work or maybe Reiki or something, however it worked for you, you have such a deep understanding. You probably researched it a ton, and you might be able to create some sort of consulting business or YouTube channel that is specifically targeted for girls who have bulimia. So that's just an example, and it could be guys, although I'm pretty sure bulimia affects like 10 times more women than men. But that's beside the point. The point is, look at your struggles from the past and do a quick journal exercise on, what do I know more about than most people? What could I possibly be positioned to help more people with than the average person, right? And that is a great starting point to kind of see, all right, I could do this, this, or this. Then what I would recommend that you do is a bit of stillness meditation. Highly recommend. One of the best things that I did in 2020 so far was a 3-day silent retreat where I pretty much just did nothing for 3 days. The first day, I literally sat in a room all day. I didn't even exercise. I did eat because I happened to be on prednisone for some poison ivy that I had, but I did nothing. I didn't even exercise. I didn't even journal, actually. And I just watched my mind for the entire day. This could be a little bit difficult if you are new to spiritual practices and stuff, but definitely one of the most high ROI decisions I have made in 2020. Now, that's kind of part 1 and 2. So part 1, quick journaling. Part 2, some sort of stillness, whether it's even just an hour of meditation, upwards of 7 to 10 days of a silent retreat, somewhere in between. If you mix in that the stillness and the time to self-reflect, that's going to help you get a lot more clear about what you're actually meant to do. That's when, as I said before, you are going to be sent messages from wherever ideas, wherever thoughts come from, and you'll be able to know with certainty, based on the feeling that those messages being sent to you come with, which one is going to be best for you to actually execute on. So after you have 1, meditated or journaled, and 2, meditated, one of the best things you can actually do is take action. And sometimes you might even want to skip the first 2 and just go straight into the action. I bring this example up quite often, but I'm going to use it because I just think it's very powerful. The 100-day challenge for this YouTube channel, actually my first YouTube channel, the main YouTube channel, that if you watch the first video in it, I'll link it below. I literally had, 4,000 subscribers. I'd been working on my channel for like 6 months, doing like a couple videos a week. And then I walked out my door. I got an intuition, an insight, and I just pulled out my camera and I started filming. And I said, you know what? I'm going to film a video every day for the next 100 days. And I was like, oh, I guess I just said that. And then I pretty much just uploaded that video to YouTube, and then I uploaded a video every day for 100 days. Without that action and that level of action, I wouldn't have been able to find out what I was good at and what I was pretty much meant to be doing. Within that 100-day challenge, I tried so many different things, okay? I guess I took on the guise of like an entertainment vlogger, and the intention behind that, by the way, was always to create videos that entertain, enlighten, and inspire people to become better versions of themselves and add value to the world. That was the original intention. And then from that, this 100-day challenge idea sort of shot out into my mind. But to give you kind of more of an example about how I formulated that decision, because you may be in a similar place, right? Where you're like, all right, I want to do something, and just, I don't know what it should be. I actually had a conversation with someone who was on the free trial for Maxi yesterday, who was like, Arlen, I want to start a business, but I literally have no money, and I'm actually international, and I can't even get a job. And he has all these siblings and a family that he wants to take care of. And I felt for him. But at the same time, I was like, look, you don't need money to upload to YouTube. If you're on this computer right now, all you have to do is just press record on Photo Booth, or even YouTube. You can upload straight from the YouTube app. So there's pretty much no excuse as to why you can't start talking about something that you're passionate about. I think one of Seth Godin's best pieces of advice that he gives is just share 2 cents of information every day. And I'm paraphrasing him, but share 2 cents of information about something that you're passionate about in the world. Okay, every single day. And if you do that every day, if you start to share and position yourself as some sort of expert in whatever field, or even just positioning yourself as some, entertainer, then you're going to very likely develop some kind of following. And over the course of delivering value on a consistent basis, people are going to feel through the law of reciprocity, through I give to you, I give to you, I give to you. You're going to inevitably feel that pushback and want to give back to me. And it's funny, I smile there because that's kind of why I make these videos. I obviously make them to help people, but at the same time, the only way I'm going to be able to have any sort of pull in this and influence in this world is if I give. And if I'm able to do that, and this is how I'm hoping I can reposition for you to think about what you're contributing to the world, how can I position myself knowing my past experiences, knowing what I'm good at, knowing what I'm interested in, and knowing what I've struggled with, and use that as my unique perspective about how I can reach specific people. Now, that's another very key point that I want to make clear before I wrap up this video. And it's that when you are going out there to create content or create some type of impact on the world, you want to really think about it as if you are speaking to just one person. Okay, you're not trying to reach every single person in the world, because most people in the world don't even speak your language. So the thing is, if you can just target one specific person, the chances are, and there's 8 billion people in this world, the chances are if you can just affect one person, there's going to be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that relate to the exact way that you are speaking to that person. Okay, I know that when I'm speaking to this video, there's hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people that don't give a shit about what I'm saying. And I'm okay with that, because I know that it's resonating with you. And I know that because I know my audience very well. So I hope that makes that very clear. Now, I guess the last thing that I want to say before wrapping this up is a summary. So first of all, we talked about how choosing a goal that helps more people is going to make the manifestation of that goal a lot easier. You're going to have idea after idea after idea. The motivation is another key thing with that. Like, motivation is a big question I get. How do you stay so motivated toward your goals? Well, I have such a big goal that the intuitions, the insights, the universe, I guess, just supplies that motivation for me. I don't have to amp myself up to film this video. I don't even have to plan this video, to be honest. I come out here, I have a goal. it's helping people, and that's it. I press record, and the video comes out as it is. So understand that the law of least effort is a real thing, okay? It is a real thing, and knowing that when you are helping more people, and knowing that when you are, working from your unique experience, right? Looking at what you perhaps have struggled with in the past and taking that into consideration and seeing how you can help a specific person, you're going to have a lot more success. But again, all of this doesn't happen unless you take action. So I've actually linked a resource down below for you. It is a 30-day creator challenge, which I would highly recommend that you do. No matter who you are, honestly, I don't care if you work on Wall Street and you're like, no, I would never do that. But like, dude, you got to understand, the world is really screwed up right now. And we need a lot more people like you watching this video who are interested in personal development and helping a greater amount of people to not only wake up yourself, but to help other people wake up. So we really need to create some sort of a movement here, or else I honestly think that the world is going to implode. We need to spread this message of consciousness, of awakening, of present moment awareness. And yeah, I just hope this video resonated with you in some way. If you did like this video, drop a comment what you thought, and I will see you in the next one. Make sure you also share this with a friend if you thought it was good too. But that's it. All right, see you in the next one. Peace.